The phone buzzed on the kitchen counter like a grenade with the pin half pulled. Mark froze mid-stir of his morning coffee, his wife's name lighting up the screen. Sarah. But it wasn't a call. It was a text preview that sliced through the quiet dawn. Last night was incredible. Can't wait to feel your hands on me again. The sender? Not him. His heart slammed against his ribs, a cold sweat breaking out as he stared at the words meant for someone else. Sarah was still asleep upstairs, or so he thought. How many mornings had he woken early to make her breakfast, whispering, "I love you," into her hair? Now, those words felt like ashes in his mouth. He set the mug down with trembling hands, the ceramic clinking too loudly in the empty room. Denial hit first, a reflexive shield. It had to be a mistake, a wrong number, a joke from a friend. Mark unlocked the phone. Her passcode was their anniversary, 0715, a detail that now twisted like a knife. The message thread unfolded like a nightmare. Floaty emojis, late-night plans, photos that made his stomach churn. "You're the only one who gets me," she'd written to this stranger named Alex. Alex, with his gym selfies and cocky grin. Mark's vision blurred, but he forced himself to scroll back. Months. This had been going on for months. Sarah descended the stairs in her robe, yawning, her hair tousled in that way he used to find irresistible. "Morning, babe. Coffee smells good." Her voice was light, casual, as if the world hadn't just cracked open. Mark turned, forcing a smile that felt like glass shards on his lips. "Yeah, it's ready. How'd you sleep?" He watched her closely, searching for cracks in her facade. She poured a cup, sipping it black like always, and leaned against the counter. "Like a rock. Work's been killing me lately." Lie. He'd seen the texts about working late with Alex. Suspicion coiled in his gut, but he swallowed it down. Not yet. He needed proof, something undeniable, before he shattered their life. The day dragged like a bad dream. At his desk job, crunching numbers for a faceless corporation, Mark's mind raced. They'd been married 7 years. High school sweethearts who'd built a home in the suburbs, complete with a picket fence and dreams of kids someday. He'd given her everything. The surprise trips, the shoulder to cry on during her mom's illness, the unwavering support when she switched careers. But lately, she'd grown distant. Snappy comments about his boring routine, eye rolls at his jokes. "You're always so predictable, Mark," she'd said last week during dinner, her tone laced with disdain. He'd laughed it off, attributing it to stress. Now those words echoed as humiliation, each one a slap he'd ignored. That evening, he tested the waters. They sat on the couch, some mindless sitcom flickering on the TV. Sarah scrolled her phone, her thumb moving with practiced secrecy. "Hey, who's Alex?" he asked casually, heart pounding. She stiffened, just for a second, before flashing a smile. "Oh, just a guy from work." "Why?" Her eyes didn't meet his. Saw his name pop up. "Everything okay?" She laughed, a brittle sound. "God, Mark, paranoid much?" "It's nothing. Pass the remote." The dismissal stung, fueling the anger simmering beneath his denial. He nodded, but inside, the trust they'd built crumbled like sand. Over the next week, the clues piled up like storm clouds. A receipt for lingerie he hadn't seen, whispered phone calls in the bathroom, her sudden interest in girls' nights that left her coming home flushed and evasive. Mark played the devoted husband, cooking her favorites, leaving notes that said, "You're my world." But each act felt hollow, a performance to buy time. One night, after she'd gone out with friends, he waited up. She stumbled in at 2 a.m., reeking of cologne that wasn't his. "Rough night?" he asked from the shadows of the living room. She jumped, then smirked. "What, you my dad now? Lay off, Mark. You're suffocating me." The words landed like punches, her contempt raw and unfiltered. He'd always been the steady one, the rock. Now, she treated him like a burden. Heartbreak gnawed at him in the quiet hours. He'd lie awake, staring at the ceiling, replaying their vows. In sickness and in health, he'd promised. But this was a disease of the soul. Suspicion turned to obsession. He checked her phone when she showered, piecing together the affair like a puzzle from hell. Alex was her co-worker, married too, but that didn't stop the explicit messages, the plans for a weekend getaway. "Mark's clueless," she'd texted. "He worships the ground I walk on." Reading that, anger exploded in his chest, a white-hot rage that made him want to smash everything. But he breathed through it, channeling it into resolve. He wouldn't beg or rage. No, he'd walk away with dignity. The confrontation came on a rainy Friday. Sarah was packing for her business trip, humming tunelessly. Mark stood in the doorway, arms crossed. "I know about Alex." The words hung heavy, the air thickening with tension. She froze, bag half zipped, then turned with wide eyes. "What?" "Mark, that's crazy," he cut her off, voice steady despite the storm inside. "Don't. I've seen the texts. The lies. How long have you been humiliating me behind my back?" Tears welled in her eyes, but they felt performative. "It just happened. You're always working, never exciting. Alex makes me feel alive." Her confession poured out, laced with blame. "You took me for granted," she accused, flipping the script. But Mark saw through it, her motivations rooted in boredom, in chasing thrills at his expense. Anger surged, but he held it back. "I loved you with everything I had. And you threw it away." His voice cracked, the heartbreak raw. She reached for him, sobbing now. "We can fix this. Counseling, whatever." But trust was shattered, irreparable. "No," he said firmly. "You don't get to break me and then decide when it's over." He grabbed his keys, the finality sinking in. As he walked to the door, rain pounding outside, she called after him, "Mark, please." He paused, head high, rain mingling with the tears he wouldn't let her see. "Goodbye, Sarah." Driving away, the city lights blurred through the windshield. Heartbreak lingered, a dull ache, but so did a budding freedom. He'd loved deeply, given fully, and in the end, that was his strength. She might chase thrills, but he'd rebuild, wiser, unbowed. The road ahead stretched endless, a testament to resilience. And in that moment, he knew, walking away wasn't defeat. It was victory.